I had a very different video planned for tonight. Completely, actually. I'm getting ready for my all my end of the year stuff, and hopefully you guys got to see the video that I did with Flip and Brian because that was a blast, and that was on Flip Wutaku's channel. So if you have not checked that out, make sure that you do. There, we did like a kind of a top five list for some movies that we liked for 2020. Some releases that we chose. I chose what I think are some different ones. Luckily, we got to have some fun with it. All right, so welcome everybody. I guess we're hey there, Vince. We're talking about this company tonight, or at least initially, because let's be honest, my videos can go in many different directions. It's like a choose your own adventure book. Hey there, and I can't see your name yet because my screen's not up. Hey there, Andy and Big, right? And Ready. Hey, welcome, man. It's been a while. It's kind of apropos that you're here, Andy, because I think you once got me at Howling 2, and I'm not sure if that was MGM or not, but it seems like it was. Why do you say the negative stuff, Rag? Did you downvote me, Ragman? Hey, Ron. Nice, congratulations. Uh, I got my announcement from our Vinegar Syndrome shipping stuff, so I'm very excited about that. That should be coming in the new year, which isn't too bad. That means I got a lot of cool stuff to show you guys in January, and it's going to set up like some stuff to talk about as well. Hey there, Doc. So I guess we've all heard the MGM news, right? Like it's been going around. It's kind of a big deal today. MGM is selling off their in Jaws. MGM is selling off their entire library. That means everything. So keep your MGM physical releases because oh boy, guys, we don't know where they're going. We don't know yet, and we don't know. And depending on who takes them, we don't know which of them are going to get released again, put out on a streaming service. Actually, I got my I got my notification today, so I should be getting my Vinegar Syndrome package on around January the 4th. Was no fault of the guys. Basically, some stuff just got shipped a little bit later. That was in my order. Hey there, Scholar. I don't know if Disney will actually. Disney's been Disney's been watched really closely. This whole monopoly thing. It'll be interesting to see. I'm guessing if Vinegar Syndrome has a deal with MGM, what's going to happen is basically probably any deals that are already in place or any titles that were already set up. More than likely, those will stay. You can't like one of the big things when you do a deal like this is you don't normally kind of cancel out deals that happened beforehand. Look at Xbox, for instance. When they bought out when they bought out Bethesda, like there were deals, exclusivity deals for PlayStation 5 and for certain games. And Xbox, I guess they could have canceled those deals, but whoever buys it, it's going to be a very bad metric to do that. So I'm kind of thinking that it's going to either, we're looking at maybe Warner, because you know that Warner's going to be killing for the HBO Max stuff. I can't see Netflix doing it because if they do, then we're screwed because what's going to happen is we're going to have only certain titles that are going to go on. Either way, like if this is being bought, a company's going to buy this 9 chances out of 10 for their own purposes. And as much as I hate to say this, the boutique labels are not going to be big enough to buy like a whole library. So the person that buys this, that wants to buy this here, It's going to be a big company. It's going to be a Disney or a Warner for the HBO Max or something along that lines. It's going to be somebody that's wanting to fill up uh, space on their streaming service and to give themselves a bit of an edge. And let's be honest. Hey there, Brian. I was just talking about you actually. From the from the discussion that we did with the Flip. This is the Brian Sauer from Just for This Pure Cinema Podcast and the Just for This YouTube channel, which you all should be checking out. What do you think about MGM, Brian? What do you think about the news? They're selling their entire library out. And whoever buys they're gonna get stuff like let's think there's the James Bond series, right? God, there's so much. I've got a lot of MGM titles. If you're on my Patreon, then you saw me do my entire Midnight Movie MGM collection and some of my favorite MGM like DVDs that I put out that I got. And if you got the video today, then you saw me do my very first scorecard of 2020, which I'm doing scorecards for every company, every boutique label, exclusive on my Patreon channel. And I started with the Vinegar Syndrome label. Severin will be one that goes up next, I think, if I can do it correctly. But I'm going to be doing like scorecards for 2020 for every boutique label, and it's going to be fun. Yeah, it looks like MGM is being sold, but we don't know to who yet. We just know that they're selling their entire library. And that changed what the video that I was going to make tonight. It changed it tremendously. Apple is actually a good suggestion. No, Disney does not own MGM. Disney owns Fox. MGM is not owned yet. That's the thing. The MGM has gone around before with like thinking about selling out and what they're going to do, but it's been officially announced now that MGM is selling out its entire library. And just to put it out to you, Hollywood studio MGM puts itself up for sale for $5 billion. So it's got to be a company that's got some bucks behind them. So let that sink in for a second. Just realize how many MGM titles that you got in your collection, and some that you may not have realized were MGM, or some that may be like Scream Factory MGMs, and then they went out of print, so they went some went somewhere, some went nowhere. It's intriguing me. It's gonna. I mean, where would you want it to go? Because if it goes Universal, Ellen, then you can pretty much count out there's any 4K releases from if Universal gets it, because Universal is not exactly great when it comes to 4K stuff. Uh, it's really hard to say. I'm concerned. If it's Warner, I would actually be less concerned about Disney at this point than I would be about Warner. If it's Disney, I'm safer because Disney Plus it's pretty worldwide right now. It's like it's getting there, and Disney is putting out a new like more not adult, but like more adult fare, I guess, like R-rated things and stuff for a new panel on their Disney thing in 2021. Scholar's right, actually. Over 4,000 titles, 17,000 hours of television. So you got Rocky, you got Bond, Handmaid's Tale, Vikings. There's a whole lot of stuff. Helped you figure to spend the $5 coupon. Excellent. KFC. I'm guessing the KFC gaming console is a joke. Uh, It's gonna be hard to see how it goes. I mean, Disney is definitely verging on the monopoly territory. Um, all they don't have the guy in the top hat yet, but I don't know what's the other choices. I mean, like, we got to look into like what's where it could go. MGM, there's Disney is definitely one of the big options. They have the money to do it. Um, Warner, they could definitely use it for HBO Max. But either way, hey, Judy Dench, a Disney princess, I like that. Um, Either way, it's not going to be good for some of us. So if there are any MGM releases that you want to pick up in the near future, yeah, you might want to look at that. So yeah, if there's any MGM DVDs or stuff, you might want to keep those. And because here's the thing, if Disney picks it up or Warner picks it up, they're gonna cherry pick the titles that they put into their service. They're not gonna put everything on there. They're gonna and Disney doesn't even put everything of their own stuff on there. I've had Disney Plus since it started. You know what's still not on there? Weekenders is still isn't on there. So many like Disney cartoons that I want to watch still aren't on the service. They're like slowly putting them on there. I like this movie here, Masquerade. Just a little thriller. Meg Tilly, Kim Cattrall, Rob Lowe. Hey there, George. Did you hear about MGM, man? They're selling out. And I don't mean in that like, so I mean like they're actually selling MGM. They're selling their entire movie library. But so they've put it out there. Now there's no sale of it yet. What we do know is that they've said they went out and they said they floated a $5 billion price tag for their library. So if any of you guys got any extra change in your couch and you want to go for the MGM library, always a thought. But I'm intrigued, I'm disturbed, I'm bothered and betwixt. Yep. I'm all of those things. And I've been going over in my head, and I was trying to do it before this video came on, because I wanted to have some sort of like thought and structure. But it really just hit me. And I started trying to like place it together in my head and how, in the different scenarios that could go through on who could buy it and what it could mean for us as as collectors and for the future. Well, you can still buy the Bond collection. It's still available. I definitely got my Bond. My Bond 50 is staying right there. Sons of the Lambs TV series is coming out. Yeah, Clarice, right? Though they should have been just kept going with the Hannibal series. Amazon Prime has it. I never thought about Amazon actually. Jeff Bezos definitely has some money for it. But what do you really want to though? I mean, Amazon Prime has been like it's a solid like streaming service, but I don't normally take it in contendership with the really really big ones. Well, neither of those movies, Griff, will ever be coming to DVD or Blu-ray anytime in the near future. I've got the long one with all the bonds like around there. I'll show you later on. Yeah, but only the Daniel Craig ones so far. And if Disney gets it, then only Daniel Craig ones will probably be. I don't think Disney's going to go into like a 4K Bond set. They usually use their 4Ks for their own stuff. Like that's why you're not going to see a lot of Fox 4Ks unless Disney actually makes a drastic change in like what they're doing right now. Apple K is actually, I didn't even think about Apple, but somebody mentioned it, and that is definitely a really strong possibility if Apple takes it seriously. At this point, although a bunch of money has been put into Apple's streaming service, and I do like some of the shows that are on it, it has been probably the most lackluster streaming service of them all. And trust me, I know this because behind the scenes, one of the things that I'm looking at in 2021, and I've been working on this for a while, is doing reviews of all the different streaming service for the from Patreon, and that's been like a. So I've had to I've gotten streaming services, like got the trials and stuff like that and tried them out, type of thing. I don't consider digital movies collections, so I don't, because I do have some, but the only thing that's a real collection for me, like in all honesty, is this. This is, if you can touch it, and and you can take it out and put it back, then it's real. If it's digital, not so much. I mean, um, that's just my thought on it. There's lots of people that are really into digital, so I don't want to rag on that. If you're here, by the way, guys, and 40 of you are, and one of you hit the dislike button, which really really bothers me. But just like Among Us, we'll find you. We'll find you out. Can you please hit the like button, because it really really helps my channel out a lot, and I 100% truly appreciate it. Thank you. And yes, is Apple any good? Not very. Uh, so far. You have no faith in digital unless you ripped it and stored it yourself. Same with me, Daz. My cousin, he's a big Apple fan. He's got a lot of Apple stuff, but when it comes to his movies, he's he buys everything. He rips them and does them himself. To be sure, I no, I think you'd be. Well, there'll be more Wizard of Oz. Trust me, Wizard of Oz. No matter who buys it, Wizard of Oz is going to be one of the one of those titles that's always going to be available. Things like that, that they're not going away. It's the smaller titles that you got to look at. Those in between titles that don't quite fit into like any of the pre-rendered categories when you're going through your streaming services. That's the stuff we have to look at. Yep, that's the other thing I was going to mention, Ragman. I'm going to get to that too. Is the El Santo thing? 4K, I mentioned it last night, and I wanted to dive into that a bit more. Look at the bright side. Even the dislike counts as engagement on YouTube. It's true. It's part of the algorithm. Not the nice part of the algorithm though. I don't think I've ever gone in and disliked the video, because if it's a video that I don't like, then I don't normally go in to watch it. I'm weird that way. Warlock, MGM, they're selling off their entire library. Hey, happy holidays, man. And they're selling it off for $5 billion. So there's only certain people that are going to be able to buy it. Apple, Disney, Warner. Those are the three that come to mind right away. Somebody said Amazon. So that's going to be. I haven't seen the trailer yet. Yep, Red Raven. Sorry I didn't get to say hi to you, by the way. And thanks for coming in when me and Brian and Flip did the video. Everything was going by so fast, which is unusual for me, right? I should just hit the back button. Yeah, if Disney buys it, the only reason that I would rather Disney over HBO Max is because HBO Max isn't something that's going to go everywhere. Disney is. Like streaming wise, is good. Like collectible wise, 4K wise, like movie wise, it's not so good. Merry Christmas, Red Raven. Merry Christmas, K-Dog. So who benefits most from the MGM sale? Who do you think would benefit most from the sale? Now, if it's Apple and they buy it, then we know that they'll put it on iTunes and their streaming service. MGM's definitely up there as one of my favorite movie companies. But But no, but it's going to kill MGM as a as a physical media form, unless there's deals that they make outside. But Apple is pretty Apple branded, right? So if Apple gets it, then get the MGMs that you want, because Apple's going to be pushing it towards their streaming service and their iTunes. If Disney gets it, you'll still see stuff come out. It won't be 4K. Yeah, Mad Max is MGM. That's one I can confirm. I remember buying the MGM release of Mad Max. See, Netflix, I don't think, because like somebody mentioned earlier, Netflix is really focusing on their own content right now, and they're better off like buying in to creators and buying like smaller lots of stuff that they can put on their channel, kind of like filler. That's the way I see Netflix going. If Netflix was to buy the MGM library, that's at $5 billion. That's Netflix is already a company that runs at a loss right now, that would be that would take a lot away from Netflix Creative, and Netflix Creative is kind of like it's a big deal for their company. They're desperately trying like to get the next big show. Do you want the next they want their own Game of Thrones. They want their own like next big series. The most likely contender that I can think about right now is Warner for their HBO Max. They need the shows. They definitely need the library to beef up their library. They've already like ripped away their own their own programming, like their own. They killed like Disney, like DC universe. They killed it. So the only two that can really benefit, like strongly benefit from it, in my opinion, are Apple and HBO Max. I think it'd be Disney, Amazon with Netflix, or Apple taking up the rear. Well, not only that, 82. Here's the thing: all their films are coming out next year. On all the Warner films are coming out like on HBO Max. That's a big deal. They've already done a deal here. Like it was mentioned before that HBO Max was coming to Canada, right? So Bell, the conglomerate that owns much of they're pretty much the monopoly here in Canada, right? So they scooped in, by the way, spoke to Warner, and have already gotten the Warner Brothers films that were coming out next year for their Crave service, so that even if like we are getting HBO Max next year in Canada, it won't include those new Warner films that'll be coming out in theater consecutively, because Bell screwed us over. Sony. Well, if it's Sony, like we could actually see like physical library. What? Because their streaming service was it Crackle? Does anybody take Crackle seriously? Is there another Sony service besides Crackle? Like, Crackle is this like free service that Sony has, unless they're doing something new. EW thinks Netflix has too much risk. It's going to be really hard when it comes for Warner made a massive mistake with their decision to put a lot of movies in theater and on their service at the same time. How it affect me in Morocco? How is streaming They actually have some really good streaming services there, and there's this thing called a VPN. But no, they actually really do. Like I was really impressed. I was at one of Hint's friends over there in Morocco at his house, and like the stuff that they had wasn't insane. The amount of stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of it's in French, right? So because a lot of it has a French feed, and I don't know French yet, so no parlez-vous français. Tubi's not even like a consideration, to be totally honest with you. Uh, I know a lot of people watch Tubi, but as a streaming service, I really can't take them seriously. I see them like a lot of the Roku streaming. Like I know they're kind of they're legit, but I see them the same way that I see a lot of those Roku streaming services. I just don't take Tubi seriously as a company, and I don't think they'd have the money to do something like this. But it's got to be it's got to be one of the big ones. Hulu is owned by Disney, so Hulu and Disney kind of go together. Yeah, they did want to buy No Time to Die. They didn't get the rights to it, but they wanted to buy it. What do I think they should have done with their slate? Either pushed it back about 6 months, or they should have. What they should have done was they should have went to the people that they made movie deals with first, and let them know what they were thinking about doing, so they wouldn't get sued by massive amounts of companies. And even if they settle outside, or they were to win a lawsuit, for instance, they this is a bad faith move for Warner. So a lot of actors and directors, a lot of people, even like people that like agents and stuff, have come out against like Warner's move. So you could see other companies getting movies that would have like pretty much without thinking would have gone to Warner. You may see people like be less willing to trust Warner right now. So what you can see is a lot of actors, a lot of directors, producers taking their stuff away from Warner and saying, we can't trust you to handle our stuff correctly, or to keep us in the loop of what's going to happen. Therefore, rather than take a chance with your company, we're going to move it elsewhere. And this is fantastic for other companies that aren't Warner. But for Warner, this is a massive like failure. See, I think that right now, Warner were hoping that Disney was going to do the same thing as them. They're like, well, we'll do this, like, we'll do it the year thing, and we'll get it there first, and then Disney will come on, because Disney was going to have their investors. Remember Disney's investors meeting? They're going to have it like the next day. So I think my better half has actually floated this around too. That Disney may have said, may have been talking with Warner and said, we might have to put our movies on our Disney Plus service. We might have to do that for next year. Warner took it as a go, went ahead and did it. Backlash happened, and Disney were like, no, we're not doing that. So, which is brilliant, by the way. I don't know if they would do that. Like, if whoever buys MGM, it depends on how they do it. Like, if MGM said they were going to be breaking it up, I'd say, well, there's a lot of boutique labels that could make deals and do different things. But if they're selling out their entire library at $5 billion, there's only certain people out there that can do that, and do it at a without taking too much of a loss. That can think about like doing it in the right way. It's intriguing. There's a lot of big things going on right now that really really like really make me think. So, who would you like it to be? You've heard my thoughts. Ideally, now let's think within the realistic constructs of it though. If a company, one of the big companies, buys out the MGM library, who do you want it to be that you think would benefit you the most? I would love it, but not gonna happen. Unfortunately, they are a great company though. You think Amazon? Why Amazon? See, Amazon doesn't have a physical media the portion of it. I can't see them buying it for the MGM app. Easy to access. Well, sort of. And I love Amazon Prime. It's probably my most watched service, but it's also the worst when it comes to its layout. People think Disney's going to be out of the running. Well, I think they can afford it. Like Disney definitely can afford it, even though they're bleeding money right now because of the whole the theme parks are closed down. That's a big money maker for Disney. People tend to forget that, but the theme parks are huge. That's been a huge drain on Disney right now. See, I can't see it. That's the reason that I can't see it happening. Is basically um, Disney knows. Well, one, Disney knows that they probably can't afford it right now because they're bleeding money through the nose because of the whole idea of the theme parks that have been closed down for the last year. Two, uh, Disney has a ton of liars, and the liars are smart enough to know that if they make a move like that, it's going to put them right in the crosshairs. And right now, like for instance, Facebook knows that they're right in the crosshairs. Um, Facebook's considered a monopoly right now, and they're breaking up. They got to break up. Hey, there's Cinematech, but they got to break Facebook up somehow because he owns too much, and the government's already gone to Facebook and basically said that Disney's not going to do the same thing. And that's the thing; they took it alone too, and that's going to go hard on them. I think my worst case scenario is Warner buys it out, and I think that's what it's going to be. Oh, they're going to say 5 million. They're not about 5 billion, but I'm sure that's the person is going to. They're going to nickel and dime wherever they can. But the problem, Groggy, is it's not like that they can't sell rights for to different labels. It's the problem is certain companies are going to have less interest in selling rights. Disney has their own movies. They put out their own stuff. They're probably not going to farm out. So if it's Disney, they're probably not going to sell out rights to them. They'll just let it sit on them on the ones that they really don't want. HBO Warner, you could see some sort of physical releases for some releases, but they're going to shove most of it towards filling up space in their HBO Max, and some stuff is just like everything, like every generation, it's just going to disappear. That's basically what's going to happen for a lot of it. A new player trying to get in the game. I tried to think Warlock actually. I tried to go through my head and try to think what new player there could be. Call to Cinema. There you go. By Warner Bros. Have Warner Brothers special editions. Maybe the question should be: does Disney need it? I don't think so. I don't think Disney needs it. I think Warner needs it more than Disney needs it. I think that Apple desperately needs it, but Apple aren't going to do anything with it. Microsoft's, you know, don't I never even thought about that. But can you imagine? Now, Microsoft, I'm not sure who here follows sort of Vivid. All right, on follows the gaming world, but Microsoft's Xbox Series X, basically what they've tried to do with the console is they've tried to make the Xbox a Netflix for gaming. That's where they're going with the Game Pass, with the xCloud. Xbox is going for a Netflix for gaming type of thing. That's what they want to do with their box, is make it almost like this cable type box that you can put in any home and watch, and you can stream it to like your different devices and do games, and Game Pass, exactly. So with the next step of that, can you imagine if Xbox decided we really want to push our our Game Pass, and we really want to do like we really want to go with that and do like I won't say Movie Pass 'cause that's already been done, but something along that lines to do their own like streaming thing, something that they could put right into their Xbox, and start off with a whole MGM library and kind of like get some like stuff in between that. I remember a couple years back when Xbox was going to do this whole like Halo TV series, not that never came to be. The rights to the Bond franchise is going to be really big. Yeah, because all that Fortnite money burned a hole in their pocket. I never even thought about Microsoft, and I know you said it as a joke, but that's there's a serious like underdog contender that I never even thought about, and I think that was brilliant. It's sadly probably going to go to one of the places we don't like an Apple or Warner, or Disney, somewhere like that. I do think Paramount would be interested. Paramount is another one where you're not going to see 4Ks. But if Paramount gets it, you will at least get some like physical releases. That's one you can count on with Paramount pretty much, is you'll see more physical releases with Paramount. Though, however this goes, and here's at the end of the day, nobody may bite. Like we have to like hope. Like we don't want to hope that we like basically MGM has the hope somebody bites for that price tag. Your mind's on Netflix? Hey there, Jason. MGM's selling its entire library. Who do you think's going to be too? There's a lot of quality horror films that have come through the MGM label, by the way, like little ones too that I'm not quite sure how they're going to fit in to certain things. I'm not quite sure where the Curse and the Curse Two, for instance. The Curse I can see going on to like if Disney had it. Definitely the Curse, it's a lighter horror film, it's more PG. But things like the weird ones like the Curse Two and stuff like that. Oh no, see they're selling their entire library, Jason, for a $5 billion price tag. So we're looking at like probably a bigger company buying it. I don't think. Oh, you did. Is there a message being held that I can't see? You're right. I get error. Try again. Rye, I apologize, man. It's not on purpose. Every time I hit it, it's an error. Try again message I get. PlayStation 9, MGM is selling their entire library for $5 billion, but we don't know who to who yet. We don't know who yet. He bought the Bond collection and the Mad Max anthology since the video started. Well, Daz, like, honestly, um, yeah, usually with held for review, though, you can just like click on it. There you go. Worked that time. Who do I think? Um, Apple, Warner, or Microsoft? Somebody mentioned Paramount, which is would might actually be the best choice. I know it's odd. It was probably something with the coding there. It happens sometimes. I had like some messages, like some stuff on my, like I'll get like a message from like YouTube, like a few hours later, and it'll take them a couple days, like to fix the errors. I think it's, go for it, Greggy. Go for it. And then you can get me to do some like some commentaries. I'll definitely do them. Hey there, Mr. Awesome. I like the name, by the way. Paramount will make sense for lobby reasons as big as Warner Brothers or Disney, and they may be cheap though. That's the thing. Yeah, Rocky, Bond, Lord of the Rings, RoboCop, all of those. HBO Max is getting. Did you hear about the Zack Snyder news on HBO Max? So he's doing this like zombie film. I'm not sure it's called Army of the Dead, Army of the Living Dead, something like that, right? And it was so apparently the HBO was so impressed with it that they already gave him the money, and he's already filmed and completed a prequel film to the film, and they want to do more with it. So there are going to be some Zack Snyder zombie films coming out there. And for those that like wonder what Zack Snyder zombie films are like, Dawn of the Dead, the remake, that was a Zack Snyder zombie film. We'll be shocked if Amazon. Amazon's a possibility. Google Bond movies have been free on YouTube. They have been actually. I've watched a few of them. I got the set, and I watched a few of them because I was basically in bed and I didn't want to go downstairs. Army of the Dead, yeah, that's the ones. And now the 82, they got Army of the Dead prequel as well. I'm thinking, Scott, I'm thinking it's going to go to, I don't think it's going to investor group. If it's an investor group, then there's a chance of them breaking it up, which could be a good possibility for us. But in all honesty, I really think it's going to be somebody that's looking towards like filling up a streaming service. That's really going to look into it. Because just imagine this. If you've got a streaming service, like, and you want that edge, and all of a sudden you get yourself, bam, like right out of the gate, you get yourself Bond, you get yourself Lord of the Rings, you get yourself RoboCop. Yeah, that's a huge like feather in the cap to any streaming service out there. I know, Red Raven, me too, but and I think it is a strong possibility. Like, look at Disney's got, they got Star Wars, they got Indiana Jones, um, they got the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously a lot of big franchises right there. If a company like HBO Max or something really wants to really go out and push forward in getting their own their own, then Rocky exactly. Then you then these franchises, they are major franchises. How many Lord of the Rings fans do you know? Like, in all seriousness, how many Bond fans are there? Um, for some people, that's an automatic buy for that service. That they may not, they may have looked at as certain people are gonna are gonna go watch the Zack Snyder cut of of the of Justice League. And where do you go after that? Like, HBO. That's the reason I think HBO is really like a strong contender, because they got some stuff to kind of bring people in, but right now at this point, I don't think HBO's got enough stuff to keep people. But franchises like that, those are things that could keep people. Too bad Quibi's not around anymore. Can you imagine that? Bond films broken up to 10 minutes segments. I do think so. I mean, like, I do think it's going to go pretty full circle along the way. Like, the streaming thing is not going to go away. Like, that's not going to happen. But streaming is going to go the way of cable. And basically, eventually, you're going to have to pick and choose what you want. So there is going to be some places that lose. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, not every one of these stream services, even the big ones that you think, oh, they're solid, they're safe, not not here forever. Um, there'll be ones that'll make it. There's gonna be ones that are gonna be here for Disney's got the money to go long term, but all of a sudden this happened, and now Disney's money they gotta get loans. Quibi's gone, Alan. Quibi went under. It was a great idea, actually, just bad timing. It was a streaming service that was meant to be like watched on your phone and stuff like that. You could watch in 10-minute intervals, and it was meant for people on the go. Hey there, Flip, man. What do you think about MGM, man? Selling their entire library. But Quibi happened when nobody's on the go because everybody was locked down. You mentioned the gatekeeping thing before, and I think that the problem is it scares me too, man. Uh, Elvin, MGM selling their entire library, man. $5 billion. So I'm checking my couch. Don't have enough change. Can't do it. Hercules films. Do they really? Do the Steve Reeve ones? Those kind of cool. Stargate franchise, both TV and film rights. My better half. Thank God we got all the Stargate stuff. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have Stargate Universe. My better half hates Stargate Universe. I love Stargate Universe. Question. Quick question. Diversion for a second. Stargate Universe. Yay or nay? Did you watch it? Did you like it? Trying to settle a debate with my better half. Oh, the other Lufrango Hercules. Those, yeah, you're right. Both of them. And the Sinbad, too. I love Revenge of the Ninja. It's such a good one. What's Stargate Infinity? Is that the one? No, the one with the guy that would go on. What's his name again? The big actor. It only lasts for 2 seasons. EW, you just got cool points. Revenge of the Ninja is canon, but actually, wasn't it put out by MGM? To be honest, I'm pretty sure it was actually. Although it's a canon film, I'm pretty sure MGM distributed it. At Exploratory, I did not know that, K, actually. Neuroleptic, you're 100% correct there. That's why I am worried about. Tendency to stream and not sell physical copies to increase control. It's going to be interesting to see. This is the time right now for labels to start making deals. To start making deals for with different companies. For those that don't know, on my Patreon channel right now, I just started today a scorecard for every label, every boutique label. I'm going to give them a scorecard for 2020, and I'm going to go over every one of them. I already dropped the Vinegar Syndrome video, so that's something that I can actually bring into some of the other ones. Is like what labels could actually use some of this stuff, and deals that are being made. The Dutch, you're right. That's exactly why they did. They didn't think Canon was worth the effort. I think they're wrong, but I understand they were making enough money off it. And also writes to most Elvis's films. I love Elvis, so that's not a good thing. He's better than everything else mentioned. Troll 2. And the original Amityville trilogy was put up by MGM. So if you don't have your Scream Factory out of print set of the first 3 Amityville films, or you don't have that original MGM like DVD set that came out with that extra disc. Vinegar Syndrome. I can see them driving with Severin, but I can't see them driving with Chef Factory. But I would love something like that, man. I'd love to see a physical media company be able to have the money and to be able to do something like that, to make a major deal like that. Whatever way this deal goes, I think that every single one of these boutique labels should be ready to go in and cut a deal because they're going to want their James Bond's franchise. They're going to want their Lord of the Rings. They're going to want that. They mightn't care about these two MGM releases. Little titles like this that may not get as much, may not get as much look, may not get as much play, right? They may not care about that. And that's why the boutique labels got to get in there right at the time, like just as the deal's being made, just to cut deals, just to get some of the stuff that an indicator James. I would love an indicator James Bond. So I don't know, holy crap. I would so buy that again. Oh, I love First Power. I like Masquerade too, but that's the thing. Like they're not films, unfortunately, that the big studios are going to look at and say, well, these are films that are going to be like are going to be money makers for us. They're filler at best, and if they don't fit into a certain category, then they're not going to be filler either. Myself, in all honesty, First Power, you could revamp that. You could actually make a series out of First Power. I'm just saying, just putting it out there. I know that because I actually wrote a Bible on one of those ones. Did a character Bible. Sony has their movie line. You like to see Microsoft. I would actually, that's interesting. Somebody said Microsoft. Never even thought of it. Never even came to my mind until it was said here. Criterion can't even go to 4K, man. If Criterion could do, could meet us here in the 21st century, it'd be great. I think it's going to be a big company. It's either going to be a big company, or somebody mentioned there earlier that some investors could get together and kind of make a conglomerate and do it together. But I think even if some investors get together and do that, and do it on their own, that another company may actually be may be without putting their hands right in the pot, maybe helping to set that up. Conspiracy theory. Quibi could return it back to buy it. Hey there, Kubrick. What are you thinking about the news, man? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about MGM selling off their entire library? YouTube. I don't see YouTube doing it. That'd be one hell of a way to get YouTube Premium to work, wouldn't it? Yeah, $5 billion. Got a $5 billion price tag on their library, but that's in all honesty, you think $5 billion is a lot of money? Not for what they got. Not when you're looking at Lord of the Rings and Bond and RoboCop and stuff like that. Part stream, then another for physical. That's not a bad thought either. It's truly going to be an intriguing time. You're scared of the MGM logo? That's kind of cool, actually. That's actually kind of endearing. I like that. Do you think Universal will do it? I mean, like, you remember UPN? I'm old enough to remember like UPN. Remember when when there were the two before CW became a thing? Because Universal had their own like their own network, like Paramount did, didn't they? It's going to be interesting to see. The natural way of things. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to accept that yet. comes to the Waltons portion of the video. Uh, all right, but just to let you guys know, this is gonna be like a shorter stream because I do have to work on Christmas Eve. I will be doing a Christmas stream, by the way, guys. So keep an eye out for that. That's something that I'm going to be doing. For those that just got here and your Friday 13 replacement discs have been approved. Mine have been approved. I just haven't got them yet. And that are on my Patreon. Then I'm doing the scorecards for every boutique label for 2020. I'm trying to get them all out before 2020 is over. I've already dropped the video for the Vinegar Syndrome 2020 scorecard. I've received the Black Friday package. My Black Friday package is going to come in around January the 4th. That's when it's supposed to come in. Barring any interruptions. Collecting is definitely an interesting hobby. We are in some intriguing times. But it's a great time to collect, and it's an exciting time. Every day something drops, so there's news. Remember when Scream Factory started to lose the rights to things, and people started to just blind buy Scream Factory titles they hadn't picked up before? And we started to find certain. We worried about Warner Archives, but that kind of made a comeback. Now MGM. So every day there's new news to look into. My Severin was stuck in the U.S. So we're like, you might be lucky because mine was stuck in shipping and in customs. I didn't know. I just saw said went to Toronto, and today it said cleared customs. So I didn't hear anything else for around 20 days, and then it cleared customs. I got to say they put it out right away, so it wasn't on Severin's side. It was on the side of customs that kept it for so long. But the Platypus sales, I don't know if they get that much out of the sales, but there's a thing anyway. So everybody, have a happy holiday season. If you can do it, join me here for my Christmas stream that I do. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get one done tomorrow or not. Keep an eye out if you're on my Patreon channel, you Crimson Cult members, because there will be dropping at least one or two more scorecard videos, either today or tomorrow. So that'll be something to look into as well. I watch Charlie Brown Christmas every year. I just love it. Have a fantastic Christmas, guys. If you're here at Christmas, fantastic. If you're not, enjoy your time with your family. And it's time for t-shirt. That's going on a t-shirt, man. It really is. I am Aaron. You are the Cult of Cinema. This is my movie library. You guys rock. To my cult members, to my Crimson Cult members, to my Super Chat supporters, you guys are awesome. And I'll see you again here very soon. And for you Crimson Cult people, I'll see you soon because I'm soon going to be dropping, hopefully in the next 24 hours, at least one or two new scorecard videos. And I'm excited about that. Maybe by the next time we talk, we'll know who bought MGM.